I'm just gonna be honest. Sharing every detail of your life with the people that you consider your friends is not smart. And this is coming from someone who was a chronic oversharer. So here are 5 specific things that you should never tell anyone. So the first thing that you should keep private is the ways that you are getting your life together. When you are getting your life together, getting yourself together, when it's your mindset, your habits, your routines, whatever it is for you, you are excited and you want to tell people, you want to share that because it's amazing. I totally understand. But you are in the most vulnerable, fragile time when you're getting your life together. And when you share it too early, you're inviting questions that you may not have the answer to yet. Your friends might be asking you certain specific things and it might trip you out that you don't have that answer because you're still trying to figure it out, and that's completely normal. When you don't tell people about this stage, you allow yourself to change certain things. Maybe you said you were going to wake up at 5 a.m., but now you actually want to wake up at 7. That's okay. But when you tell people stuff, they have an expectation of you to do that. It's better for you to show them with the results instead of telling them about it. There's this concept called the observer effect, which shows that people fundamentally change when they know they are being observed. So you may change these ways that you're getting together that might be working for you simply because you feel that people know about it or are watching you do this thing. The next thing that you should absolutely always keep private is your financial situation. Good or bad, like whether you're doing good for yourself or you're not doing the best right now, never share this with anyone. So let's say that you got a raise and you're doing well in your business or things start popping up for you. Once you start telling people about this, you automatically can become the friend with money. And maybe when you're out for dinner, people assume that you can just get that bill. You can cover it for everyone because you're the friend that got money now. And people might start looking at you differently because of this. Money is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. Or maybe you're struggling right now. Maybe things are tight for you. And when you share that with people, they might start moving different around you, might not want to invite you to certain things or try to give you advice that you really didn't ask for yet. And it can make the situation awkward while you're still working on these things. Everyone has a different relationship with money based on their values, how they were raised, what they were told when they were growing up. And they can project that narrative onto you, even if they don't mean it. And that might just come out in your friendship with little slight remarks that you didn't expect or ask for. And it's not that people are always trying to hurt you. People can be very well intentioned, but because of their own narratives, it can just really change the dynamic of your friendship. So this next thing that you should keep private is very tricky because most people think when they share this, they're actually bringing people close to them. But really, it could be keeping you stuck, and that's keeping your deepest insecurities and self-doubts private, especially in a new romantic relationship. These are the things that keep you up at night, the things that are the most sticky for you, the things that hurt you the most. Because the first 2 things that we talked about, your financial situation and the ways you're getting it together, those are external things. But your deepest insecurities and your self-doubts, that's internal. And that can really hit you hard if you share that. And you can't take it back once you do. So most people think that sharing these deep insecurities is making you authentic and making you connect. But really, it's keeping these vulnerable for you. And so let's say you get in a fight. You get in a fight with one of your friends, and your friend may not mean it, but they may pull for that very thing that you said that you're very insecure about. Maybe you've shared that you have insecurities around your body. And then when you're arguing with your friend and maybe you're wearing an outfit, they might say something about your body, like just a little slight remark. And I know that sounds like a really bad friend, but that can happen in some of these arguments. They just pull for the things that, even if they didn't mean to, that could really hurt you in those moments. Even if that's not the case, even if it's one of your greatest friends, your best well-intentioned friend, these deep insecurities and self-doubts you're sharing could create a lens that they look at you from, even when they don't want to, because this is something that you should keep private or work with a therapist. And once you share these things, they can't unsee these insecurities, and that sticks with their perspective of you forever. Now for this one, this is something that you easily might be sharing. You might be thinking it's funny, it's a joke, it's just something that comes up casually, but it can actually be keeping you stuck to an identity that you've moved on from and no longer are. And that is sharing your past mistakes. So people often struggle to separate you from the version you are now to the version you once were when you are bringing it up in conversation. They start thinking you're still that person. Why are you bringing that up? Leave the past in the past. And I know sometimes it could just come off as like a lighthearted remark, like it's unnecessary. And unless it has something to do with something you are doing right now, like it is extremely relevant in your life in this current moment, you can just keep that in the past. You don't have to bring that to other people right now when you've worked so hard to let go of that version of yourself. You don't need to bring that version of yourself here. You did the work, leave it over there. And trust me, I completely understand that there are some beautiful things of sharing the past with people, especially people that are on a similar journey that you were or that you've healed from. But I think the main thing here is that you've healed from. There's this saying that share from the scar, not the wound. And that changed everything for me. When it's a scar, it's healed. It's healed. You did the work. But when it's a wound, it's still open. It's still fresh. And so when you're sharing these things in your life that are still triggering to you, these past mistakes that are still triggering to you, it's putting you in an awkward position with people because they don't know how to act about it. You don't know how to act about it. It becomes this thing that is completely unnecessary. You see, I think with the past, when you've healed and you've gained perspective and you're trying to share it with someone who may be on a similar journey with you, that makes sense. I totally understand that. But when it is something that is still hurtful to you, that is still fresh to you, that is still the wound for you, and maybe you're just trying to fill conversation or trying to have a moment of feeling connected to this person, it's best not to share that. And it's best to protect yourself. And like I said, share from the scar and not the wound. And not everyone deserves access to your full life story. Not everybody deserves that. I know now everybody shares everything online, and you do not need to share about things from your past, mistakes that maybe you still feel ashamed of or you're still working on forgiving yourself for. Like, let that go. Everyone doesn't need to know that about you. You get to keep that to yourself. You get to hold that private. Now, this last one, this might be the most important one out of everything that I've listed in this video. Sharing this can literally change the direction of your future, and it's incredibly important to keep it to yourself. And that is your future plans, your future endeavors, goals that you are working towards. When you share a goal before you've even started, a dream of yours, something that you want to really work towards, you are giving people access to your dream before it's even unfolded, before it's even begun. And people naturally will give you their opinions based on where they're at, what they've experienced. So for example, let's say you want to move. You want to move from your small town that you've always lived in and all of your friends are still there, and you share with one of your friends that you want to make this big move to a big city, across the states, across the country, a different country. What do you think the response is going to be? A lot of times their response is going to be fear because they've never done that before. It makes sense, right? So they're going to project that fear onto you before you've even had a chance to work on this goal or this dream. And this is one of the quickest ways dreams dies. There's so many people who have dreams that have died before they really got to put it into fruition because someone told them like that's not a good idea, or that's a saturated market, or you shouldn't move, or things like that. And they listened because it was their friends, and their friends meant well, but they didn't know. They don't know the future. They don't know. And it's better for you to give yourself the chance to actually try the thing before you share it with anybody. And this isn't even to fault your friends. People can only give you their perspective most of the time from what they've experienced in their life or what they know in their life. So if you want to have advice on moving to across the states or starting a business, don't ask your friends that never moved or started a business. Speak to the people who have. They will give you better advice and more perspective than people who have not. And one of the craziest things that happens when you talk about your plans, your future plans before you've done them, is that your brain actually tricks yourself. Like literally, this is a thing. Your dopamine releases as you talk about this thing as if you were doing the thing. So you start to believe that like you're getting this like false motivation that it's already done when you never even really did it yet. So that urgency now starts to drop. Like let's say you want to sign up for the gym and you tell everyone, hey, I'm going to sign up the gym. I'm going to sign up for the gym. How many times have you actually gone and really signed up for the gym right away? Like sometimes with just the great feelings of everybody saying yes and encouraging you, you don't even end up signing up for the gym, or you loafed on it for a while. And that's completely natural. But it's much better to take your energy from these conversations of sharing these private things and putting them into the work. And honestly, there is a reason why successful women keep their goals private. But staying private and staying silent about your goals is not enough. So if you would like to know more about this and dive deeper into the why and know what you can do for the future to make sure you keep your future goals private, check out the next video because you are definitely going to love what's next.